Okay, we're on the east side of the back porch, and the rain gutters, as you can see, the rain gutters discharge directly onto the ground. That's not a good thing. This is going to be a long video too, so buckle up. So the lawn sprinkler heads, the irrigation heads, they're not supposed to be closer to the structure than 12 inches. Rain gutters are not supposed to discharge so close to the house. The gas pipe, this is a gas valve for the patio area. You want to check with the manufacturer to see if your gas grill is going to be rated underneath an enclosed covered surface like this. It might be. It just depends on what the manufacturer says. Then these stucco columns are coming down too close to the ground. I don't see stands under them. And what's to stop the water from wicking up into that like that? So it's just something to take into consideration. Then over here, these are called weeps. And this one has a little weir in it. See that weir? See that weir? Those little flaps? We don't have a flap over here. They cost about $2 a piece, maybe that much. But we're missing some weirs. Coming along. This is where your main sewer cleanouts are. It's a double cleanout. There's where your gas meter is in the alley, right out there. This is the south side. All this area right here, this is high soils. High soil. And then right here, we've got water's been coming down and staining this. It's draining. And from that window up there, without the weirs, we're missing weirs. There's a weir. Okay. But you can see that this rain gutter is also holding water. It's not draining like it should. And again, it's draining water all down the side of the house right here. We got moisture issues around these columns, about the bases of the columns. We've got high soil conditions over here and staining over here. Moving around. This is the west side of the house. This is the gas entering the house. Main gas shut off valve. And we cannot see that the gas piping is bonded here. So we're going to assume that it's bonded at the furnaces. But that's an assumption. Irrigation. Okay, these are the two condensing units. This flexible insulation is no longer allowable. And what's happened is they've gone and wrapped it with tape, and that might pass with the code inspector or not. I don't think that. I'm going to give you the code references. And over here, these are called Schrader valves. The refrigerant service valve port caps. The caps, the Schrader valve caps. And those are supposed to be anti-theft. They're supposed to be anti-theft. These condensing units, they're supposed to raise the condensing unit. These foundation pads for the condensing units, they're supposed to raise the condensing units a minimum of 3 inches above the ground. That's just not happening. These are electric disconnects. Okay, this one is behind the unit. They're not supposed to be behind. That one's on beside the unit. This one's behind the unit. They're not supposed to be behind the unit like that. I'm left-handed. I don't have a real big problem with it. I have a problem closing it. This is the downstairs disconnect. Just gotta take a peek-see there. Coming along. Schrader valve caps again. Soft insulation again. And these really should be, and I get it, there's no space. There is no space. But they should be 12 inches from the wall. And more than 3 inches above the ground. If I trip one of these, it's going to trip all of them probably. So we come in here, and if this is GFCI protected, it's supposed to have a notice on it telling you that it is GFCI protected. It is GFCI protected, and it does not have an information notice about that feature on there. Coming along, I'm not sure what this pipe is for. I'm not sure what it's for. It's probably a laundry drain, a laundry emergency drain. And we'll find out more when we get upstairs. But if that's the case, then it should have a 90-degree bend on it, pointing towards the ground. Back in here, more, no power because it's on GFCI and I already tripped it. And it's not labeled as being so. Again, the rain gutters are discharging too close. These drain lines right here are for your water heater. And they should terminate between 3 and 6 inches from the ground. These terminate too high from the ground. These are too high from the ground. That's ants. So we're coming along here. See this stucco? And I got some still images of this. This is stucco. I'm not seeing any weep screed. The weep screed helps the water drain out from behind the wall because all walls leak. It's homeownership 101. All roofs leak, all walls leak. We design to shed water faster than we accept it, but we don't have it here. Coming along. I can't believe I left my hatch open. We've got just a little over 80 psi. Just a little over 80 psi. But it is over. So it'd be nice if we had a valve. I'll come back and get that, a reduction valve. Really, I just want to see if my stuff is still here. Looks pretty safe. Foolish of me. Coming over here in the parkway. That's the sewer. This is your water. This is your water meter right here. And inside that dial, that's the corner of a little triangle right there. That's a flow indicator. Some people call them cheater's wheels and cheater paddles. If that's moving, you got a water leak. So you got to go find it. If you can't find it, someplace you can't see. This is your check valve, backflow prevention for your lawn sprinkler system. And that looks all pretty good. It's all lined with gravel. It'd be nice if your water meter was lined with gravel. There's not a code about that, I do not believe. But it's all lined with gravel. It looks good. This is the main shutoff to the lawn sprinkler system. That valve is buried. Okay, so this irrigation box should be excavated and it should be lined with gravel. Like this. Otherwise, if you don't line it with gravel, it's going to turn right back into that. Again, it'd be nice if the meter was. That's really up to the Encore or utility company. Coming along here, you do not have an address posted on the house. No address posted on the house. Wood mulch next to the house. I'm going to need to put a ladder up here, but I'm not seeing. This is stucco. Okay, if this is stucco, then never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm anxious. Come back around here and see if it's tripped. This is the front door. I'm making better time than I thought we were going to make. Yep. That's how you reset all the outsides. Doorbell. I heard that earlier. How if it's illuminated? Should be illuminated. It is. We have a wooden overhead door for the car entry. This side casement, it should not be touching the ground like that. It should not be touching the ground like that one. That one over there is marginal. We've got our window screens. I don't know if we've got enough window screens or not. And the door, the manual door lock, it should be decommissioned. And on the bottom corners, there should be spring tension, pinch warning notices on the bottom corners. You're also supposed to have a handle inside the door. But a lot of people feel that these standing ridges provide a sufficient handle. Maybe interpretation. This is GFCI protected. I checked it already. Doesn't have the notice. Control button is high enough. You got a warning sticker right there. Garage is GFCI protected. So basically that's facing north. The house is facing north. So this is the garage south wall. This is the main water shutoff valve for the house. If you have an emergency, this is where you come. It's perpendicular, that's off. Parallel, that's on. These are electric meters, your load centers, electric service panels, breaker boxes, call them what you will. You got 2 of them, 200 amps each. Looks pretty good. It's laced up really nice, mostly. You're not supposed to have wood shavings and combustible debris inside of there. You're not supposed to have that. That should all be cleaned out. You're not supposed to have a gap more than 1/8 of an inch. So we got an 1/8 of an inch gap over here and over here. Whee! There you go. Okay, so the panel cover fits right here. And you got that gap. It comes from here, so you've lost your fire blocking. That this is supposed to be flush. You're not supposed to have a gap more than 1/8 of an inch. These boxes were screwed in. Most of the screws are sheetrock screws. Those are not heavy duty screws. These cabinets, they're supposed to be nailed in. Nails have much more shear force. Nails are faster and they're tight, and I get that. But they don't have the shear strength that nails do. So if this structure was to experience something along the lines of a tornado, these boxes are much more likely to stay in place if they had been fastened with nails instead of screws like they were. We're also supposed to be seeing a bonding location under here. Nice notice in a bonding location. That's supposed to be posted. Also posted is supposed to be the breaker labeling. And you should have duplicity. This would be an alternative schedule. And see, this is printed A, printed B. That's printed. So this is handwritten. It's printing, but it's handwritten. And all your breaker identification is supposed to be printed, not handwritten. It's 30. Got the other one. AC is 50. The air conditioning units are properly fused. If I'm to trust the labeling. This is your lawn sprinkler. This is the garage east interior wall. And we've got our zones are labeled. And we've got operation instructions. I haven't seen a weather sensor yet. I'm sure there's one out there, but we're going to find out. And then this is where your bonding is. Okay, it's got a Ufer bond. But if anybody would know that, anybody would see that as a ground, and that's supposed to be labeled. This location is supposed to be labeled inside of there. And we got the wrong kind of screws, and we got the gaps. We got the hand labeling. I'm not noticing an energy notice, so it's got to be rated. It does not look like it's been through that procedure yet. Got a little bit of movement here. Is that water issues right there? Can you see that? Huh? Right there by the window. We're going to take a little closer look at that too. Moving along. It's too close. Too close. Too close. This is your meter. You got one grounding rod. One grounding rod. I'm used to seeing too is the one in the wall. Is that considered the grounding rod? Got a little bit of movement right up here. And got to see it on the other side of the wall. We're missing some weirs too. What is that? This house is weeks old. What's that about? There's the diagonal cracks right in there. Another diagonal cracks right here. Diagonal cracks right there. What's going on? Okay, right in here, we've got positive drainage away from the house. But in here, this is level. This is all level. And it's squishy. I'm sitting there, I'm gonna have to put boots on before I go back in the house. Covers. More high soil. Another water faucet. Forks. So that's the exterior tour. More cracks under the windows.